Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome back to another episode in the NeoForged series for Minecraft version 1.21. So before we get started, head over to your Gradle.properties file and check if you've got the latest NeoForged version. At the moment it's 21.0.16. If you for checking in later on, it'll probably be higher, so you might just want to check in from their website. Alright, to begin with, we want to head over to our main folder, and in this episode we'll be adding items and the creative menu. So to begin with, we're just going to add our first item. So create a folder called the init folder, and in here we're going to have a class called item init. And within item init, we're going to have something known as the deferred register, and this allows us to register our items so Minecraft recognize them and able to load them. So to get this, we're going to public static, and here we're going to have deferred. So we're going to have here deferred register dot items. Just and deferred also deferred register the items, and here we're going to call this items. I'm going to do deferred register dot create item, and here we just want our mod id tutorial.mod id, and in here we're going to create our first item, which we'll call example item. So public static final deferred item, and in here we're going to do just call item and gonna call this example item, and in here we're going to do items dot register the name of an item, which is just going to be called example underscore item, and our items property is going to be new. Gonna have a supplier, and here it's going to be new item, and just the items dot property. So new item, new item dot properties, and that's it. So once you've done that, we've pretty much done the part where we're going to add our example item. Next, we want to go back here to our tutorial mod class, and we just want to items dot register so Minecraft recognizes this and able to load this item class, our items. Alright, next we want to create our creative menu so we're able to access our items. So head over back to inner folder, and here we're going to have something known as a creative mode tab in it. Alright, within here we're going to have another deferred register, so public static deferred register, and this one's going to just take in the creative mode tab as a generic, and here we're just going to call this creative mode tabs, and in here we're going to do dot create, and then we're going to registries. Going to do registries. So registries dot creative mode tab, and then our mod id. Once you've done that, now we want to register our creative mode tab. You can have as many creative mode tabs as you want, but in the tutorial we're just going to stick to one. So we're going to do now we just want to create a static public string, and this is just going to be tutorial underscore mod underscore tab underscore one, and this is going to be our title, which we will use to for the name of the tab, and we're going to call this somewhere else as well when we're doing data generation. So you just want to have it as a static field so you can call it later on. And now we're going to actually create our creative mode tab. So you're going to have here public static final deferred holder, and in here it's gonna take both creative mode tabs, so creative mode tab, and in here we're just going to call this, you can copy this and just get rid of here, and then in here we're going to do creative mode sub dot register, and in here it's just going to be the name. So we're going to call this tutorial mod underscore tab 1, and then within here we're going to call a supplier, and then here open our brackets, and now we're going to build our creative menu. So we're going to do creative mode tab dot builder creative dot sorry dot builder equals creative mode tab dot here dot builder, and now we're going to build our creative mode tab. Also it doesn't started, and here we're going to do builder dot display item, and then this is just going to take two. So it's going to be just item in here. It's going to take item, just call this item display, and the next one going to be the output, and then we're going to call another supplier. You can just fix the spelling here, so just item display, and here we're going to create a new set known as just set item. The reason I'm doing this is to basically, when I was doing it before, I was getting an error where it was saying that I was adding the same block multiple times. That's for another tutorial I'm just going to do, where now it just adds only the one block or the one item with that set name, so there's no duplications. And in here we're just going to call this added items, and in here we're going to do new hash set, and then now we're going to get our items. So we can just do item init dot items dot get entries, and then here you're going to do stream, and then you're going to do map. So you're going to do map, and then here you're going to do item, another supplier, and this is going to be item dot get as item, and then you need to do filter. It's going to do added items add, and then you're going to do for each output accept. And then for now we're not going to add blocks, but next tutorial we're going to add blocks. And in here we're just going to do builder dot icon, another supplier, and in here is going to do take new item stack, and in here we're going to do the one item we've just added. This is going to be when you click the tab, that's going to be the icon on that creative menu tab of yours. Example dot get the item, and now also want to create the title. So it's going to be title here, and it's going to be component dot translatable and that title, and then is return builder dot build, and then you can add your semicolon. Also, no, it doesn't go there, and then you can just close that off. Alright, so now we also want to go back to tutorial mode, and we want to register our creative modes tab dot register. Alright, now once we've done that, we've added both our item and our creative menu. We want to go ahead and add the textures and the lang file, which will define what our item is called and what our creative menus is called. So for this tutorial, I'm going to be using something known as data generation, where you'll just use Java and it will automatically generate what you need for Minecraft in the JSON. So first we're just going to create our data generator class, where we will basically register all the data generators we make. So it's called data generators, and in here we're going to have public static void gather data, and in here we're going to have gather data event, and then this is what we're going to register. Alright, so head over back here, and you want to do bus add listener gather data. Alright, so now we've done that. Now we can head over and just create our data generators that we need. So the first data generator we're going to create is our mod inline provider, which will define what our items, blocks, creative menu is called in the English language for Minecraft. So create a file and just call this Salam. You can have other language as well, which Minecraft support for now, but in this tutorial we're going to look at English. Mod inline provider, and in here we're going to do extends language provider, and then you'll require the following constructor. So it's just going to be public mod inlang provider, and in here you just want pack output, and then here's where to output the files, and in here we're going to super output tutorial mod id, and the language, which is English and United States English. And then now we're going to override, and in here we're going to do protected void add translation. And then in here now we're going to add our items. So just have here items, add item, and in here we're going to do item init dot example item, and now we're just going to call that example item. And then now I want to do our creative menu, so just say here others, and in here we're going to add creative mod tab init dot title, and in here we're going to call that tutorial mod tab. You can call this whatever you want, it doesn't really matter. You can just call it tutorial mod, or you can just call it tutorial mod tab. I'm just going to call it tutorial mod, up to you. No, there's no strict guidelines. Alright, once you've done that, now you also want to head over to your J folder, and here you want to create something also known as texture. This is where we're going to create the textures for our items. So in here we're just going to call this mod item state provider, and this is going to extend item model provider. And then if we just implement the method we need, it's faster, and if we implement the constructor, you can get rid of this one here, and then here just have your mod id, so tutorial mod id. All right, now we're going to add the texture for our item, so it's going to be item. We're going to need to create the method, so it's going to be private void item, and we're going to take item as a parameter item, and within here we're going to do a string name, get item name, because we want, and if we just implement this here, and we're going to create the method. So to get the item name is going to be private string get item name. So I'm going to take item as a parameter, item, and in here we're going to do return built-in registers dot item get key, and then going to do the to string, and we're going to do replace. This is so we get it in the correct format. So replace, and in here we're going to do replace tutorial mod dot mod id plus this colon, and just replace that with an empty string. Right, now once you have our name here, we're going to do the following: get builder, this is the texture builder, and here we have name and the parent, and this is going to be get existing file, and it's going to be known as just item.generated, and then texture will be layer 0 item / the name of our item, and here we can just add our item. So our item is just example item. All right, once we've done that, we need to go head back over to our data generator class, and then we're going to put this in a try and catch, and then this is going to be our first use of our loggers, and in here we're going to do tutorial mod dot logger dot error fail to gather data, just in case any errors are thrown when you're doing your data generation. Sorry, no, this is going to be a runtime exception. All right, in here we're going to get the following. So we need data generator, our generator, which is event.generator. We're going to need our pack output equals event dot. This is going to be generator dot pack output, and then we also need our existing file service, which is existing file helper, which is from event.existing file helper. All right, now we're going to add the first generator, which is our mod inlang provider, and this is going to be true here, true, and here we're going to have new mod inlang provider and our output, and then we're going to have we're going to have our texture for our item texture, and that's going to be mod item state provided. Alright, and then that's pretty much it. And now we've done everything we need. And now in order to generate our texture, whenever to Gradle and you want to run data, and that's it's going to generate all your textures. So I'll meet you back once all my textures have generated. If you get this error, this means that you haven't put the texture in your assets folder, which I didn't do by mistake. So I've just used all my own assets in this tutorial. Feel free to use them. This is the ARM I'll be using, and this is what the item, what the example item would look like. Feel free to use your own, but that's what you should do if you get this error. So just do that and then run your data once more, and everything should work as intended. So as you can see, all our data is loading, and there should be no issue while it's generating our data. So this should only take about a couple of seconds. Alright, you can see our data is now generated with no issues. And if you head over to our generated folder, assets, tutorial mod, you can see our lang generated here, and our model for item has generated. So once I run the game, I'll meet you back and I'll show you that everything has worked. Alright, as you can see, I've now loaded into my game, and if you open your creative menu, you can see that our tutorial mod, we have our own creative menu. And in here we've got an example item, and you can see it's fully rendered with the textures as you can see. And then we can now move on in our tutorial in creating blocks, etc. And so I'll see you in the next episode, inshallah. Peace out, have a great time, and goodbye.